What makes a coin grader? I mean, how do you become a coin grader? Are coin dealers qualified to be coin graders? Is there some special secret formula? Are there prodigies? Are people born to be coin graders? I mean, how does all this work? And I hear some comments that, one person commented, I'm not a coin grader to me. And that's okay, because I can explain to them why I am a coin grader. But do I work for PCGS or NGC? No, I don't. I don't work for NX. I never have. Do I know people that do and people that have? Yes, I do. Matter of fact, even the people that founded it, they're in the dealer networks and all. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about what makes a coin grader. So first and foremost, PCGS and NGC, they were founded by coin dealers, rare coin dealers that had some experience, obviously, in grading coins. They were dealing with ungraded coins and probably were exposed to this. This is the ANA grading standard for United States coins. And in this book, you can see how to grade coins basically with the alphanumeric system. So you've got good and 4, okay, on a scale of 1 to 70, which is the Sheldon scale. Now, this wasn't the first way to put together grading for, I think it first started with large sense and someone putting the alphanumeric together using the Sheldon scale. This book here, a lot of people probably don't even know it exists. Okay, but this one is the new photo grade. It's by James F. Rudy. Okay, this came out in 1972, and anytime I can get a hold of any books on grading, I will buy them. I mean, somebody local sells books, but this, you can go down through and read this, and all of it's based on the ANA standards. I would say, as far as the grading standards concerned, the ANA came out with the first one. Now, is it the only one? No. It is most certainly not the only one. I also have this. This is also a photo grade. This is probably my first one. This is Rudy. This is actually a later version of that 72. It's not a whole lot different. Maybe it's updated a little bit. But it shows the progression, where we've come from when it comes to coin grading. Now, when I said there was no other systems in place, here's an AccuGrade system by Hager. Alan Hager. He actually founded AccuGrade. And this book is actually signed too by him as well. But anyway, when you look through this, this is his standard. This is what he came up with to try to grade coins. So you've got full strike. He's got his little symbols for it, like an A1 and B2. And I have a coin graded to one of his hard plastic slabs. There's a lot of controversy surrounding him with PCGS. But the bottom line is that that's when plastic slabs came about. AccuGrade was supposedly the first. PCGS says they are, but PCGS supposedly tried to use his. But, like I said, there was a lawsuit. There was all kinds of stuff going on. But the bottom line is that PCGS and NGC aren't the only grading standards. The ANA isn't the only grading standards. Every person probably has their own grading standard based off of their own opinions. No, quite the contrary. They're not the only standards, but they're the most accepted standards. If you say ANA, NGC, or PCGS, they're the most respected standards in the industry because of marketing, because of clout, because of promotions, because of going to all the coin shows and all the rare coins that were graded by them and have sold. That there has to be the standard. They have to be. PCGS and NGC and Annex, they have to be the standard because of all the expensive coins that have been sold on those holders that say they're a certain grade. So even if it's an opinion, even if it's not a science, NGC and PCGS and NX are going to be the top 3, and PCGS and NGC are the top 2 by far. But that doesn't mean they're the only standard, though. Doesn't mean they're always right. Doesn't mean that someone can't grade as good as their graders. But getting back down to it, coin grading is not easy because every coin is unique. I mean, I don't care if you have 2 coins that look exactly alike. If you had a way to laser scan every single coin that you've ever owned or in this whole entire world, there would be something different about every one of these coins. And that's where the problem is of trying to make coin grading a standard and a science because of that fact. Now, do they look similar enough? Is there a grade range for 63? High, low, middle? Yes. Yes, there is. There's probably, you could probably come up with 100 different grades for Mint State 63, based off of, 100, and let's say we would put different metrics on it, where it be, or like contact points or contact marks or rubs or whatever. All that stuff can come into play. You can make it really complicated, but for the sake of Brevity, we have to make it less complicated because the price guides wouldn't be able to hold all the values. And who wants to have 100 or 10 different values for a 63 coin? I mean, we already have enough. We've got what, plus grades now. So this is also another grading standard, which is making the grade by Coin World. I've talked about this. So when someone tells me you're not a coin grader, okay, well, I do have a response to that. I own all these books and I've read these books and I consult these books constantly, always doubting the grade that I'm assigning coins. Now, also photography. I am a professional photographer. I actually started my photography back in college. So in 1991, I bought a manual 35 millimeter camera and I started learning how to develop my own film and taking images. So I was an art major. An art major. That's on top of that as well. I had to study objects to recreate them on canvas. I also have art history surveys, so therefore I studied art. And I love art. So that gives me a little bit of a well-rounded look at objects, and coins would be a part of that because I look at coins differently than a lot of people. So if anyone is qualified to grade, I would consider myself qualified. Am I the strongest grader or the best grader in the world or in existence? I'm not saying that, not at all. And I'm not even bragging. I'm just pointing out some facts here about coin grading. Because coin grading and coin graders, there's not some special sauce that they ingest or are sprinkled on them when they go to PCGS that automatically makes them a coin grader. They are just part of a system, okay? PCGS has a systemic grading system. NGC has a systemic NGC system. If you don't know what systemic is, then look it up because they have their own little culture within the confines of their business. And they have a business model and they have to make money and they have to keep hiring people. And you know as well as I do, you can go to any business and if you work for anyone, any factory, any job, and there are people who excel at that job and there are people who do not. Not everybody's equal doing a job. It's the same thing on the football field. It's the same thing with any sport. Not every player is equal, even though they're all skilled. Some are better than others, and that's just the way it is. No different at PCGS, I'll guarantee you. You can apply for a job at PCGS if you like. It will not make you the standard grader of the whole entire world. That's why there's mistakes. It's been said multiple times to me by different people who are in the know, who've been in this business for a long time, that 80% consistency is about what they shoot for because that's about the best you can get with human grading. There's always going to be errors. There's always going to be opinions. There's always going to be biases. That's just the way it works. Then you have people talk about market grading. If a coin jumps from 66 to 67 in value, then you don't want to grade too many 67s if you are trying to promote your registry sets and people's trying to have the registry sets graded and they want their coins to be worth the most. I mean, who wants to pay $10,000 for a mint state 67 coin? And then someone come along and in the next couple of years grade 3 or 4 more and cause your coin to go down to 7,000 or 6,000. Nobody wants that, okay? And I understand that. And I'm not saying that's 100% happening. I can't prove it, but it just seems like it is. I mean, it just kind of the evidence around it, what you're not being told, kind of points in that direction, that you don't want to devalue the registry quality coins. So the other thing to talk about when it comes to coin grading is that I sell thousands of coins a year. I handle thousands of coins. I buy, I don't know how many graded coins from all different companies. And I've done this for decades, a couple decades since I started selling in the late 90s on eBay. Started handling graded coins from different companies and finding out most of them are not reputable companies because there's a lot of those out there. I can compare. I mean, I can go get an NGC 63, about 10 of them, of the same coin. I can get PCGS. And I go to my inventory and I can lay them all out and I do my videos. I've done video after video on it. I can compare the grades. I can see the differences. Does that mean that they're all completely wrong or I'm completely right? And I can call out PCGS and it's not that. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I can see the inconsistencies at times. I can see where, and that's why I do videos on a coin that like an 84S Morgan dollar that will literally jump to a lot of money in AU58, but it could look AU55. And the only point of the video was just to give it a scenario. That's not what really happened, but it can happen, and it has happened in the past. So that's what I'm trying to get at here, is that sometimes grades, the coins are very close. What if it's actually AU57, not 58? What if it's an AU56? See, we don't use those. Okay, we jump. We use AU 50, 53, 55, and 58. So we have all these grades in between. Like a 53, I consider it a split grade. It's kind of oddball that we use that, but we don't use AU 56 or 57. So we don't use all 70 in the scale. And that's what people don't seem to realize, is that there's all these little tiny intricate things. And like I said, I always say this, the devil's in the details of coin grading when you're looking at coins. And I understand that because I do it. I have decades. So a coin grader to me is a person who's experienced at grading coins and looking at coins and examining coins, actually studying the grading standards, looking at photo grades, comparing coins, and doing this for so long that when you look at a coin, you pretty much know what grade it's going to get. I'm not 100%. I can always send a coin off and miss something. Identifying clean coins, that's another thing you're going to have to do. Identifying counterfeit coins, that's another part of coin grading. You have to know all of that. How can you grade a coin that's a counterfeit? I mean, how would you do that? You can't. You have to know how to identify counterfeits. Also, PCGS NGC will have help. They're supposedly having a committee grading where people kind of examine your grades. Basically, I do a grade, someone's submission, and another grader comes along and looks at it, double checks me, which is a good thing to do. Hopefully they do that. But it's kind of hard to believe that they're going to grade millions of coins a year, or at least when it comes to silver eagles and modern coins, and when you add to that they're actually looking at every single one of them. Because I've seen plenty of 70 coins that just look 69. So I guess what I'm trying to get at is that a coin grader is made through experience and study. It is not just something someone's born with. It's not something that's specially endowed on someone because they got hired at PCGS or NGC. Believe me, I know former graders, a couple, and I also know people who are working for the grading company right now. I know one in particular who is a really close dealer friend, and he was basically more in the world coins, but he was a dealer that went to the coin show, and I would talk to him all the time. We did some tradings and friends on Facebook, and then he decided to apply for a job at NGC, and he got hired, and he moved to Florida. He's working for them right now. I've been trying to get a little interview with him, trying to get him to, talk a little bit about what it's like to be a coin grader, but it's a very guarded thing. Okay. So there's a lot of things he can't talk about, and I get that. So my thing is that it's not some secret as far as how to be a coin grader, although their own little companies, they have their own little secrets. Every company does. Nobody wants to reveal what they do and how they do things. They don't want the competition to have any upper leg on anything or be able to trash their business or anything like that. I get that. And also you have disgruntled employees that are going to make comments about your company that may or may not be true. So you never know what you're getting, what information you're getting. But it's not that you can't be a coin grader because you're just a coin dealer or just because you don't work for PCGS or NGC or Annex. That's far from it. I mean, it started with people who, before Annex and before PCGS and NGC even started. That's how it got started. Someone come up with basically how to grade coins. We're just putting some numbers on coins. Lower numbers worth less than higher numbers, or lower numbers is a lesser grade than the higher numbers. That's how it works, basically. And then they wanted to add the alpha on it, which is the extra fine and the AU and the very fine. And then when you add that together, eventually it evolves into what we have today. It's an imperfect system. It could be better, but it is what we have. But it is inconsistent. So knowing all of this is very important before you think, oh, a coin dealer don't have a right to say anything about my grade. If they don't want it, don't want to sell it or don't want to buy it for the grade it is, then I'm not selling it. And that's okay. No dealer is going to say, well, fine, don't sell it to me. That's not how it works. I mean, if they do, then you don't want to sell it to them anyways. And I don't ever tell someone their coin's less of a grade just to buy it for cheap. If it's got the grade on the label, I end up buying it or a pass. That's how I do it here, especially if it's going to be worth thousands of dollars. If I'm looking at, $100 or so, I'll go ahead and buy it. I'll just do a video on it. I'll put up on the site and I'll say coin doesn't look the grade. Like I said, if it's a minor thing, I may be wrong about it. It may be the grade. I'm just looking at it because I'm not perfect either. I'm human. So thanks for watching my latest video. Hopefully this helps you understand the coin grading a little bit and who can be a coin grader and what makes a coin grader. So please like, share, and comment, and have a great day.